the lies you been hiding. Ain't no denying, ain't no crying, ain't no fears. You should be hiding, ain't no fears. You should be hiding. I gotta testify, I'm trying to eat your rectum. I gotta testify, I'm harder than the next one. You won't tie, and there won't be no pressure, no endeavors. Go get her, the flow's better. Them hoes can never. I know the vibes, I know the lies you been hiding. I know the vibes, I know the lies, I know the vibes.
Notice. All right, everybody. Welcome back. Hip Hop High Society. It's your boy Big SG Southside Gun. And today we're gonna have another conversation. I have a gentleman here who has reached out to me in terms of listening to his music. I was very much impressed, and I believe that you guys are gonna really enjoy this conversation that we're about to have. So without further ado, I'm gonna let him introduce himself. How you doing, sir?
I'm pretty good. What about you? My name is Obumneme, coming from the south side of Georgia. I was born in Riverdale, but then grew up in Jonesboro. Also got family out in Nigeria, so Nigerian-American, basically. So yeah, that's me.
Okay. So you are from my neck of the woods. You were the first person that I've ever spoke to
That's
and
crazy.
doing all of this. You from my neck of the woods. So I grew up College Park. I'm up and down Riverdale Road. I done lived on every
I'm a-
apartment complex on
yeah,
Riverdale Road. I went to North Clayton, so I know what it is. So it's very welcoming to have somebody from the South
thanks.
on the show. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak with me.
Sure. For sure. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and just dive into it. So you reached out to me so I could check out your single, Testify, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
And it was very much a good experience because usually when people give me songs to listen to, I have to always take it with a grain of salt because most people are looking for this defining thesis about their work
Mhm.
rather than they want somebody to just enjoy it and then, hey, tell me how you feel. And that's what you came to me on is here's my track. Tell me what you think about it.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, my guy, I thought it was great.
I appreciate that. I
I
really
thought it
appreciate
was great. I think that you have a sound and a style that is very, very smooth and it's very catchy because it makes me as a listener want to continue to listen to your work.
it.
Um,
Mhm.
so like what made you like how did you figure out your sound?
I feel like it was just like a lot of trial and error, to be honest, because let's see. I've since like a child, I've always been like writing. I was always writing short stories, always writing like poetry and everything. And then I was in chorus from seventh grade to like 11th grade. So I got the chorus background. And I feel like I
Mhm.
started taking my music seriously back in 2018. When I first started, I was doing like boom bap beats. So everybody was saying I
Okay.
sound like a New York nigga. So that was the first tape. Then the second tape was also
Yeah.
soul type of thing. So I was really trying to get into like my singing bag and then trying to just like catch a vibe basically because basically niggas was in their feelings that when I made my second tape. So it was just a lot of feeling music, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think now it's kind of like I feel like I finally found my sound probably like last year, kind of like making it very poetic, raw, and eccentric with an infusion of like live instrumentation. So yeah.
Okay. Now, with the implementation of live instruments and everything within your music,
Mhm.
what is necessarily one of the biggest challenges with incorporating that into your current sound now? Because not everybody can use live instruments in their music and have it sound good. So, like, what challenges do you typically face when you're actually trying to create these beats?
I feel like well, I don't produce them myself. It's friends of mine. So this particular song, Testify, was by Naps and Romel.
Mhm.
Usually I guess the difficult part would just be like figuring out what that particular sound is that like ticks my brain because it's like I can hear a bunch of different sounds, whether it's like the guitar, the bass, or just whatever. But I feel like once I hear that particular sound, like when we're cooking up in the studio, essentially, we can sit there for like 30 minutes to an hour trying to figure out what that right sound is, or
Yeah.
sometimes it happen in 10 minutes. So I don't really know the correct answer for that. It just
Yeah.
depends, you know. Yeah, yeah.
But I think with your production, I think it very much does fit you and your style. I think that, you know, so basically us being from Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
we have so many different sounds just from the city alone because not
Exactly.
everybody makes something different. You got your trap beats and then you got some smooth R&B from certain people. You can do somebody with alternative. You got people like Rory making damn folk music. So it's like there's such a smorgasbord of everything. What style like really gravitates to you the most? Because I mean, of course, you got the hip hop bag, but outside of that, what other sounds do you believe kind of like gravitate to you the most?
I would say like traditional Nigerian music. So I'm Igbo, so traditional Igbo music. My dad was always playing that in the car a lot growing up. And I think also a mixture of just old R&B like Luther Vandross,
Mm,
Marvin Gaye, and then from the 90s like Maxwell, D'Angelo, Erykah Badu, like so a mixture of those two things.
good. So would you say you said that you were taking music serious in 2018. And I applaud you for doing that because everybody likes to do music as a hobby, but you start really seeing the benefits and the fruits of your labor when you really start, to put that work in and grind and all of
Mhm.
that. So being that it's been, essentially about 5 years, since you've actually gone out and done everything, um, what would you say is like, how have you grown since you first started taking it serious? Because I mean, from 2018 to 2024, I mean, that's a long time.
Is
Like how do you see yourself and how you've grown since the beginning to where you are right now?
I think when I first started, I didn't know what I was doing. So like I kind of was just like, okay, I'm gonna put out a tape. I didn't know none of the steps. I didn't know like anything of how to put out a tape. I didn't even know what engineering was. So like
Right.
when I first started, all I knew was, okay, I got a journal, I got a pen, I'm gonna just write. I had no beats, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna drop a tape. I'm just gonna keep writing every day. But I think when I first started, I was very like I had a lot of curiosity. I still have that now, but I think it was just the like when you jump into something new, like your brain is just all over the place because
Right.
so many things so many eras and like so many like different ways you can go into. But I think back then, like I feel like I was very impatient as well too. And I was
Mhm.
just like I had a different mindset because I was what I think 19 or 20 at the time. So it's like I was
Mhm.
basically still like young for the most part and like still trying to figure out everything. My mindset back then was very, what's the word? Like very, it was hard for me to like figure out what I wanted because it was just a lot of noise. Like people telling me, oh, you should rap this way. Oh, you should try this. Oh, you should try this. You should try that. And then like my parents, they wanted me to be like a doctor. So it's like they didn't even understand music like at all in totality. So it's like I feel like I was just always listening to so many other people and I had a lot of noise when I first started. And I think now it's to the point where like I went through all of that and a lot of trials and tribulations to bring me where I am right now to where I'm like finally understanding like what my purpose is and why God put me on the earth to do this and like understanding like what my sound is, where I want to go. I feel like now I finally have like that tunnel vision and I'm more locked in than I was like when I first started.
Okay. And
Yeah,
and and I can hear it.
I
So
appreciate that.
and as a listener, when discovering an independent artist is something that is very fun to me because it really does give you an insight to who this artist is. So if somebody is new, they're just discovering you, what type of impact do you want your music to make on them so that
Okay.
they can so that they in turn can become fans of you?
For sure. I think the impact that I try to leave is just being a voice for the voiceless. So kind of giving people like those words that they may not be able to fully comprehend. For my music specifically, I try to just talk about my experiences. Most of
Mm,
the time it's about love, and women and stuff, but it's also about like empowering and like just trying to use my experiences as a way for someone who may be going through that. They may have those words, they may start to like understand something and see something, especially as a black man. A lot of black men don't really tap into their emotional side and like
right.
actually tell it how it is raw. So it's like I think I just want to be that for people, especially Black men, just giving them that voice that they may not be able to understand. And then from the other perspective of like women who may not understand how men's mental work and everything, like they can be able to like listen to my music and hear like, oh, so that's what such and such is about, you know? So just a mixture of those two things.
Awesome. That's dope. I think that's dope. I think especially that whole voice of the voiceless thing, I think we in just not even just in hip hop, but just in music in general, we don't necessarily have a lot of artists that really want to say those things that, people are afraid to say or that people haven't really tackled yet. I think just by you being willing to be so open and honest about what you're going through and your experiences, that gives me as a listener a level of comfort because I know, okay, I know exactly what type of person I'm getting. I'm getting a real nigga. I'm not getting nobody
Exactly.
who just flexing on motherfuckers just for the sake of doing it. I'm getting
Exactly.
somebody that's real and authentic. So, the creative process in terms of really producing a song is one thing. But when you're curating an entire project, an entire tape, how does that look for you?
I really see it as like a puzzle or like a math equation. I'm very like analytical. So like
Mhm.
I see it as like just placing things together because everything that God does, I feel like is intentional. So it's like a lot of times we may see like before the puzzle is built, we just see all these pieces and it's like it can get overwhelming sometimes because we're like, damn, okay, should this go first? Should this go last? So it's a it feels like a roller coaster, but I know like I always end up figuring out at the end and everything always ends up tying together. Like Testify, I wrote that like 3 years ago, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of the new tape that I'm dropping now, a lot of this stuff has been in the works for like the past couple of years. And then it didn't really, I didn't come in with the mindset like, okay, this is gonna be one, this is gonna be two, this is gonna be three. But
Mhm.
throughout the whole process of me just creating all these songs, it kind of just slowly forms together. And then like one day it clicks and it's like, I see how that can go there. I see that this can go here. And then it ends up just being a whole story within itself. Like there is intention behind it, of course, but just wanted to make sure that for the most part, it's kind of just based on the flow and the feeling and having it make sense based on that. So yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I think that is, because I don't know why people have this thing of like listening to albums like on shuffle mode out of
Oh, that's
order.
terrible. That's
I
disrespectful.
the first listen to an
Disrespectful.
album on shuffle has never made sense to me.
Crazy to me.
People do it, and I don't
Crazy.
understand why. That to me, that is not my process. When I review music, I have to go front to back
Exactly.
3 times because then I know because I may hear shit the second time. I ain't hear the first time. It may be 3 listens. I'm trying to figure out what you meant on track 4.
You know
You
what
done
I'm
with
saying?
something else 4 tracks later on track 8, but it took me 3 listens to catch that. So
Exactly.
that's the type of music that I'm trying to, be involved with, and that's what I don't understand why the fuck people do that. That is
It's
crazy.
weird because it's like people, the artist takes time. It's intentional. Like we take the
Yeah,
time to put it piece by piece for a reason. So it's like listen to it in that order. You know, I get if it's like the 30th, 40th listen. Okay, let me try to shuffle. That's still weird to me, but I understand it. But it's like
exactly.
our first listen, you listening on shuffle. That's crazy.
It's crazy, but
Crazy.
people do it, and I know a few people who do it. So it's kind of crazy. So, and definitely, I appreciate again the thought process behind it because, a lot of times you get these artists who put these put together these EPs and these albums, and you kind of want to understand like what is the thought process behind a certain song behind a different one. You may have something fast and upbeat, and then you may slow down the tempo, and you may have something more melodic right up under it. So it's like every song has its purpose.
Exactly.
And so I feel like with your music, especially diving back into your other projects and seeing how far you've grown from there, I see that now, even just the way that you rap, everything's intentional.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Everything is intentional. And I think that is what speaks to your uniqueness as an artist. And so to further expand on that, what else would you say makes you unique?
Ooh, I ain't never been asked that before. That's crazy. I think dang, just kind of remembering like my why. I feel like what makes me unique. Just remembering like not even just music in general, but like, why am I placed on this earth? Like, why is it important for me to be myself? Because I feel like when you're yourself, when you just authentically you, like people feed off of that. People feel that. Like you can feel the energy. I feel like that never lies. So it's like being, I don't know, being unique for me is just sometimes it feels like it's bigger than me because it's like when I just show up somewhere as myself or just showing up like all like giddy or just being like a goofy guy, like that small 5 minute interaction that I can have with like a random person may make their day because they may be going through it. So it's like I
Right.
feel like for me just being able to just be unique and staying true to who I am is like it helps me, of course, but it can also help other people see like, damn, okay, he doing this. Maybe should be more comfortable being myself as well too. So yeah,
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think, being very intentional, being unique, and because we have so many copycat artists, we have
right.
so many people looking for TikToks and they get that one TikTok smash hit and they immediately sign a record deal.
Yeah,
It's like it's 50 of y'all. Like I
probably
don't
100.
want to see that, man. So, that's just a testament to how, you're because I can already tell you're an intelligent guy. I can tell that you have a purpose and you're fulfilling that purpose by just being yourself.
Exactly.
And a lot of people are not like that. And for anybody who wants to know what the hell I'm talking about, if y'all saw the pod last night, my ass was going off on Rich and Miri for just walking out of the double XL freshman cipher.
Yeah,
Again, we have 47 different guys who all look and sound exactly the same. So when you come across a guy like yourself and you hear your music for the first time, it's like, I ain't never heard this before.
yeah,
Let me see what else he got going on. So, in terms of that, because there are times that, artists are alike in certain manners and things like that, and they frequently collab. So, is there a dream collaboration for you that you see in the distant future, or somebody that you may have already worked with that you want to work with again? Is there anybody that comes to mind?
for sure. Dream collab would definitely be Tyler the Creator or Andre 3000. Them two, hopefully
I
one
could
day.
definitely see that. Yeah, those are
Yeah,
my favorites. Those are two of my favorites. I appreciate both of their artistry.
same here.
I appreciate both of their artistry. I also appreciate, and I want to go back to just your your original flow in terms of your rapping because I think you know you said you tried out a couple different things and things of that nature in terms of really finding your sound and honing your craft. Is there something that initially that didn't work that you kind of want to try again to see if it works a little bit further now that you've kind of got a little bit more experience and a little bit more of work under your belt?
Yeah, most definitely. I think for like a couple months I was trying out, nobody has ever heard it, of course, but like I was trying out like a alternative rock type of thing, like an infusion of like the Afro drums with the rock and then
Okay.
yeah, and then with like the southern feel as well too. I was trying that out for a little bit, but I feel like maybe it just wasn't the right time. But I definitely would want to go back and try that again.
Okay. And,
Yeah.
and see, I listen to everything.
Hmm.
So I'm already envisioning what that could sound like.
Yeah.
I think that might be a cool thing. So if you ever do that, I want to be one of the first people to hear it.
I got you for
I think
sure.
that would be great. So I want to go a little bit and look into the future. In terms of because again, you put time in now. So what's the goal? What do you want to get out of all of this?
The main goal within the near future is to have my own tour. So whether it's a headlining tour or opening up for somebody, I really want to perform out in Europe because I feel like it would just hit different out there. That's been calling me for a couple years. So definitely being out there, collaborating with like my favorite artists that I really look up to and aspire to like get to that level that they at. So collaborating with them. I definitely do want to compose for other artists as well too. Like I really enjoy writing, and I feel like I'm really good at melodies. So like helping other artists like compose their projects, would love to do that one day. eventually start my own record label. And yeah, those would just be a couple things that I really want to get into.
Okay, and all of that sounds great, man. So, I think, you have a future
I appreciate that.
in the music industry, and there aren't many people from our side of town
Exactly.
who get that opportunity and actually capitalize on it. People barely get the opportunity, but not only, you're getting both. You're getting the opportunity, you capitalize on it, and I think that speaks a lot to your character. And I'm not going to take up too much more of your time, but I will like to just ask you, one last question.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, you good. Yeah.
And that really goes into, what really just inspires you to keep going? Like, no matter how tough it is, no matter how frustrating it is, if it's good, positive, and different, what's inspiring you to continue to be you in the music industry right now?
First I would say like I just know it's my purpose. Like I know it's in me. I feel like God speaks to me every day. So yeah, that would be the first thing. And just I always thinking about like when I ever feel like giving up, I always think about my family because it's like I'm the youngest of four. So like they always I don't know. I feel like even if I don't talk to them, like if I'm just going through it, I just think of them. I'm like, okay, I got to keep going because it's like they really instilled a lot in me growing up, especially like my mom and dad, like just the go-getter hustler mentality that they had,
Yeah.
like on a different level. So it's like when I feel like just quitting, I'm like, nah, because they didn't quit. They made it this far. They wouldn't quit. And I know if I would call them and complain and say I'm feeling A, B, and C because of just whatever, like they would just tell me, like they wouldn't allow me to like lay in my problems. Like they would just tell me to get up and keep going. It's going to get better. So I would say God and my family.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. I appreciate, the support system you have around you. I support just you in general.
Appreciate
And
that.
again, like I said, man, it ain't too many people I see if anybody knows me, I am a tough critic on Twitter. I'm very harsh. So when something impresses me, I know it's good.
I
And
appreciate that.
I know your music is good. I know you're a good dude. So I expect nothing but greatness going forward, man. But thank you so much for taking the time to have a conversation with me, man. I appreciate it, man. You are a real special cat, and I really appreciate you reaching out to me. Because had that not even happened, this wouldn't have even been a thing right now. So
Respect.
just,
Respect.
just even you just taking the time to reach out to me, still, everybody, please go listen to Testify. Go listen to the
Please.
single.
We
Go
need to
listen to the single. He has more work out there. Go listen. Go support, man. Is there anything else you want to plug in, man?
Man, yeah, listen to Testify, tape coming soon, hopefully, real soon. Listen to Blackpool, listen to Young Yana, listen to Ahmed, yes, listen to Maisha, listen to Kundi. I feel like I'm missing somebody. It's just
Yeah.
going quickly, but
Where,
listen
where,
to
where, where can we find you at on social media, man?
you can find me at Instagram at Obumneme EO. That's OBUM as in Mary, N as in Nancy, M as in Mary, another E, and the O. Same thing on Twitter as well, and same thing on TikTok.
There we go, man. Well, thank you so much, man, again for taking time to speak with me. Uh, thank you, folks, for tuning in to the conversation with your boy Big SG. And yes, please stay dangerous.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
I know the lies you behind in, yeah. You behind in, yeah. I know the lies. I know the vibes, I know the lies you behind in. You throwing salt, please simmer down. Cause I'm seeing two sides like you Gemini. Tell me what the truth is, tell me what the news is. You off it cause you stupid or you on it like a nuke wind. Baby, fucking let your head down so I can see you through shit. I'm broken and broke, but I can take you coast to coast to show you something you ain't seen. Shit, if you let me put your fucking ego aside, that thing is heavy. You never know when your time comes, just be ready. Don't close yourself off this shit, just tell them get off this. It be easing up on your group, but get the two off.
Notice